his eyes and stuff?
Gets cold, there's probably a lake right there. Awesome. Yeah, my first one, so it's pretty
DJ Mike and
yeah.
Every week,
Yep. GG.
yeah.
Where are you getting it?
Obviously, I can't get hard.
I could be. Alright.
Fucking churches.
I don't know. Where are you from? New Jersey.
That's what I'm saying.
Which honestly would be good for me. Because then I would just stay.
No, I get a community, everything. Well, to the key. That's what I'm talking about.
You know that video?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. You want me to try to show up game?
That YouTube video up on.
You heard that show though?
Road to Fort Wayne.
Where is it going?
It starts in 5 minutes.
You get bored in class? You get bored in class?
Where's Bridge?
That's how I'm curious.
Bill, you get bored? You get anything? Well, you took out and then game like you get bored.
Tell me how making the dinosaurs. Listen to class. Actually, I can't believe that.
Dinosaurs.
You guys have class together?
Dinosaurs. He's a fifth-year senior. Dinosaurs.
And he skipped days last week.
I was the most right there. That means I was.
Bro, Steve's stats, bro. Steve's skipping stats. I don't need to skip dinosaurs. I should have done some.
What coach said about skipping class?
I get that. Baby face diamonds. Yes, you did. That's what
You know, I can get 17 game win.
Is that what we were on? Snap.
We're on 25. We're on 25 last year. We started off 4-2 and then we finished at 28. We lost our start. No, the class I dropped off.
25.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be in a great mood.
He's gonna have to
Yeah, it's gonna be a good feeling shooting that brand new.
Yeah.
Where'd they play last? Yeah, it's gonna be
Oh shit.
Not even looking at that.
She's definitely gonna say something about that.
Yeah, might be walked in, there's no
The Facebook page? No, Instagram.
Bro, I haven't been on social media.
Was it the same one that was on Facebook? I clipped that.
They said,
Where's she talks?
Dude, they're fucking idiots.
Yo, who said that?
no, that's something else. What's this one?
Maybe yours is yours. I just thought that was kind of crazy. Just post like.
There he is.
That's Sean. Look at that.
Alright.
Yep.
Go to this is Facebook. Go to that. Where's your Instagram? You won't see it. Dude, you can text your girl.
What up, boy?
Email show me.
I don't know, but talk to us.
Yeah.
Tucker taking too long.
Somebody's comments
That's where
there?
we lose important game. That's the best. But what's on Facebook? I didn't see the Facebook one.
This dude's a dork. Somebody come off you or not?
I heard that word.
I got you. Now it's
Is that the Facebook one?
he/him and now it's 10 hours.
That's the Instagram one. Tucker has the Go to the Facebook.
Let me see the Facebook one.
The Facebook one just shot up on my camera.
That's the same.
Swipe up like a. Just camera. Oh fuck! I clicked on the thing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. That's some old.
That actually is joke.
Wait, no, 16 don't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
What's up, guys? How are you?
What's up, everybody?
Oh, it's good.
I just wanted to slice, but had to spend more to do delivery.
At AT&T, you don't need to spend more to get our best smartphone deals. Guaranteed, even on the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus.
That's a good deal.
I got this in now.
Stick around afterwards in case they want to do it.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2024 NCAA Division III Men's Basketball Selection Show. I'm Will Aston, and there's nothing better than basketball and brackets. As March is officially around the corner, and we'll head to Fort Wayne again this season for the national semifinals on March 14th, the championship 2 days later in Division III Men's Hoops. And who gets there depends largely on how teams can survive the challenge of this 64-team bracket. It is as difficult a spot to earn any sport. 42 teams already in via automatic qualifiers. That leaves just 22 spots for at-large selection. If you're watching right now, you already know how hard this season has been just to get here and be considered. And nobody tracks that challenge much better than our friend, the Dean of D3 Hoops, Dave McHugh from D3Hoops.com and the Hoopsville podcast. Dave, only fitting, D3 men's basketball kicks off basketball and brackets with March coming up this weekend.
And I can't believe we're already here, Will. It feels like just yesterday we got this season started. It has been fast-paced, it has been exciting, it has been up and it has been down. Lots of surprises this season. It has been a lot of fun as we get more and more parity in this division. And really, honestly, as much as we may have some favorites in this bracket, it's anybody's to win.
I'm just here to unveil, you're here to provide some of the analysis, but I know the most important thing for all the fans watching is to just see those teams on the lines. So let's get into it right now because I know there's a lot of nervous waits. Some are going to be rewarded, some aren't coming up here. First and second round games are coming up this weekend, March 1st and the 2nd. We will unveil 8 teams at a time, and then Dave will provide some analysis for us. Let's dive right into the bracket. Top left for those who are riding along at home. Our first host is Hampton Sydney, second consecutive season of Tigers. Finished 14-2 in conference play. The Tigers enjoying their finest season in 21 years, and the program was 24-1 through 25 games back in 2002-2003. The win total is the most under fifth-year head coach Caleb Kimbrough, and the 14 conference wins equal that of last season also under Coach Kimbrough. Solid run all the way to the ODAC title, their 11th championship in program history. They open with LaRoche, top seed in the Allegheny Mountain Conference tournament, ran with the title 80-69 over Penn State Maryland. Stevens will be there as well. An absolute thriller in the Matt Freedom title game. The Stevens went the final 2 minutes and 15 seconds without scoring, but held off previously unbeaten DeSales in conference play to win the championship and return to the tournament. They will face Farmingdale State, which rounds out this first four, 15 wins skyline during the regular season, marking the best record in the program history. In last year's NCAA championship, the Reds fell the eventual national champions. 61-60 in the first round. Moving on, we find a rolling deck for the Rocks, where the end jacking the scoring. And they just under 90 per game, ranked third in the nation in the games this past weekend. The scoring couldn't keep up in the conference semifinals, but the 1996 national champions had the firepower to score anybody in this tournament. All right, breathe easy. First at-large that maybe was slightly out. Carnegie Mellon snags an at-large berth in this matchup. Most wins since the 2008-9 season for the Tartans, where sophomore Justin Allen just broke the single-season program record for points. This team can really shoot. They had won 17 straight this year. They're making 50% or better from the field. Both of those teams playing a home court of Catholic. The Cardinals own the glass and control the ball and win to the landmark conference title, winning by 22 in the title game. One of only 9 teams in the nation turned over less than 10 times per game. The 2001 champions returned to the tournament for the first time since 2016. And they host Worcester State in the first round, making it back-to-back NCAA tournaments for the first time in program history, thanks to a thrilling win in the NASDAQ championship. It's in overtime against Bridgewater State, and Sam Davies was the hero twice. Sank a game-tying 3 in the final seconds of regulation and a game-winning layup with a second remaining in overtime to win the berth. So, a couple of bubble nervous teams here, Dave, are in a couple of really fun championships also this past weekend, winning these first 8.
Where's Hendon Street?
Yeah, Hendon City Training is a top team pretty much in the tournament by being put in this upper left. They were the number 1 team in our top 16s 10 days ago. Nothing's changed there. Peel and Kimbrough's squad is one of the best in the nation and a top-ranked team as well. So leading to that, how you want to LaRoche. Stevens, as you mentioned, got in there just kind of barely holding on in the last couple of seconds to two minute straight throws. But Farmingdale State should not be overlooked. They are a very good team who can play very good basketball. No one kind of slipped here. They lost a couple games late in the season. Otherwise, they should be hosting. And this is a tough matchup against Carnegie Mellon. And by the way, yes, as you point out, this is a little bit of a bubble conversation here. There's still some people, or maybe others, have been picked. And that's off to Catholic. One of the best teams they've had in a long time. Probably one of the deepest teams. Worcester State's going to have a challenge here.
All right, sliding on, next 8 to unveil, and it starts with St. Thomas of Texas on our next page, snagging an at-large berth to dance for a second straight season where they will battle Claremont White Scripps, the SCIAC champs, returning for the first time since 2018. They both head west to Cal Lutheran, who will play host in this one. Back-to-back trips to the tournament for the first time since the 1990s. And David Whitworth in the opener, which held serve in the Northwest Conference for the 15th berth in program history. Nebraska Wesleyan checks in next, top seed the American Rivers Championship, lost in the finals, but earned an at-large berth here. Carter Glenn leads the defense that paced the conference in steals and takeaways this season. Secondary did not have to worry about a berth. The program tasted tournament life for the first time in 2020, plays its way back in as champs of the SCAC. Trinity, Texas hosts this foursome, a 1-point semifinal loss in the conference tournament wasn't enough to prevent a 12th NCAA berth. The Tigers featuring 4 players on their roster that earned all conference honors this season, including Christian Green, who was the freshman of the year and a first-team all-conference performer. In a big battle for state bragging rights, they face Texas Dallas in the opener, earning an 8th berth in this tournament and the first since 2020, Dave.
Yeah, there's a lot coming back here. We'll spend a whole half hour talking about that upper left section. St. Thomas, the team they're moving out of Texas here. That tells you a lot about what the committee thought with possible 3 stacked teams in this tournament against Claremont Bud Scripps, a team that they're certainly familiar with. These 2 teams faced off earlier this season, and Claremont Bud Scripps won by 5. Claremont, Cal Lutheran, didn't really get it all taken care of, but hey, they're still good enough to host. They are a very good team, and Whitworth North is a sneaky good team. That's a fascinating pod in Southern California, and they get a pod in Southern California. That's more important. Nebraska West is a team to watch out for when we emerge on the national landscape. Secondary, this is that team we debated with St. Thomas. Who gets pulled out of the pod? Well, Secondary stays there. Trinity, Texas, darn good team, but St. Thomas has beaten them twice this year. And Texas, Dallas, last year of eligibility in Division III, they're into the NCAA tournament and looking to make waves.
No doubt about it, we're a quarter way through the bracket. We go to another powerful group to unveil. Starts with our host here. It's Widener, our blowout loss in the conference championship. Probably studied this team for a deep and focused run. The 1978 national runner-ups returned last year after a decade-plus absence. Spent most of the season ranked at or near the top of their region, thanks to the top scoring offense in the MAC Commonwealth. Roger Williams will try and slow down that offense in the opener. The Commonwealth Coast Conference champs were a tournament that was completely blown up. They were the 5 seed and beat 6-seeded Suffolk in the championship to earn the A2. The champs slide in here next. Christopher Newport joining the party. The championship from last year will be defended as the captains play their way back to dance. The coast-to-coast champs feature the top defense in conference and top 5 in the nation in the field goal percentage as well. And a good opening test against Hobart, taking care of business in the Liberty League, brings the program back to the tournament for the first time since 2020. Earlier we mentioned DeSales, and they snag an at-large berth here, taking one off the board as an undefeated regular season when the MAC Freedom saw this team face the conference in rebounding, shooting, and scoring defense. And Williams offers a very tough test in Mountain One, the only team to defeat Trinity of Connecticut this season. The 2003 national champions have made the national semifinals 8 times. Nate Karen was NESCAC Player of the Year, hit a game winner in that win against Trinity back in February. It's a balanced team, which was the #1 seed in the NESCAC tournament. And it'll be a fun opening matchup of that one that's going to be played at Oswego State. 9th tournament berth comes via an at-large bid as this team dominated the SUNY up until the conference finals. Plus 18 scoring margin, ranked top 3 in the nation this season. And so they still get the host with the at-large here and some really powerful teams alongside. And they open against Babson. The 4-seed in the NEWMAC spoiled a lot of postseason plans by grabbing the AQ for the program's 13th berth. They were the 2017 national champs. Dave?
The Widener team that really emerged this season, especially in the national landscape, has been a top 4 in the top 16. They did lose to an upset-minded Eastern squad, but they are good enough to be hosting here. Roger Williams, by the way, first conference title since 1999, and best I can tell, and I'm going pretty far back into the system, first ever NCAA tournament appearance, I believe. Christopher Newport, you mentioned the defending national champs. They've had a bumpy season. The championship there on Trey Barber is no longer the team, so it's the Hines brothers who will show off. Colin was the MVP of the conference finals, but John was the player of the year in the conference. And they'll match up in a tough matchup with Hobart, winners of the Liberty League the first time since 2014. That's a team to kind of sneakily watch out for. They could give Christopher Newport a really hard time. DeSales and Williams facing off for the first time ever. DeSales look at their wounds from that really rough loss at home in the conference title game. Williams, the one team that's knocked off Trinity, Connecticut this year on a buzzer beater. Oswego State, this is a team that we've been watching all season, watched for a few years. They knocked off and ended Randolph, making 64-game home winning streak last season in the NCAA tournament. They had only one loss going into that conference championship game. They won going to Ryan Babson. What the heck is with Babson? They knocked out possibly 2 teams from even being in the tournament on their way to a championship. Remember, and get AQ, so 15 and 13 is legit.
No doubt about that one. 8 teams to go. You mentioned Eastern a moment ago. They headline the next A2 unveil. No need to leave fate in the hands of the committee. The Eagles won the MAC Commonwealth for the 2nd berth in program history, doing so by hanging nearly 100, as you mentioned in that game against Widener in the championship. They won by 29. That should certainly have the attention of TCNJ in the first round. Even as the 5 seed in the NJAC tournament, the Lions got it done. They bested Stockton 75-62 to grab a spot. Keene State gets the hosting duties here. 9th appearance for the Owls, who enter off a dominant run to the Little East title. 4th best scoring team in the country, won games this season by over 20 on average. That was 2nd best in the nation. They also led the conference in assists, rebounding, blocks, and turnover avoidance. That'll work. Oh, Jeff Hunter also. 25 double-doubles this season, more than any player in the country. What more do you want? on this resume. They opened with Marymount, which had 2 individuals break 1,000 career points this year. Wyatt Hockenberry and Marcus Stubbs leading the tournament in back-to-back years for the first time in program history. All right, 4 to go here on the left, starting with another at-large selection and a celebration. This one belongs to Hood. An at-large for the Blazers marks a 3rd trip to the NCAA tournament and gives 3 berths to the left side of the bracket to the MAC Commonwealth Conference in a strong year of hoops. Penn State Harrisburg goes about winning the 2024 United East champions, won their 3rd conference championship in the last 4 seasons by matching the single-season program record for wins. The team ranks 4th in the nation in assists per game and have recent experience knocking off ranked teams in this tournament. So this is certainly a team that expects to win and expects to win often. Guilford is the host of this quadrant, back in the field for the first time since 2019. And in the first round, they battled Barry, the SAA champs, and in the field for the 3rd time. Dave, you talked about Eastern and that postseason Saturday really, or this past weekend, I should say, really shaped a lot of our views of a lot of these teams, including 8 on the screen right now.
Oh, absolutely. You see Mac Commonwealth getting 3 bids as a result of all of this. This is a conference that I thought earlier in the season may not have been as strong as they normally are. And lo and behold, they got 3 teams in the national conversation and have been there for the last few weeks. TCNJ, by the way, they won 3 consecutive road games just to get to that NJAC championship title. That's never been done in that conference, and we're used to chaos in that conference. Keene State, new head coach, but still the same winning percentage, same winning way, I should say. They've got nearly 60%, shoot nearly 6% from the floor. They are a tough team, and they are destined and trying hard to get to Fort Wayne. They feel like they deserve to be there. Marymount is 19 to overlook Coach Rogers' team back-to-back conference championships after a 23-year hiatus. They are tough. We talk about them. They are a very good team. Chad Dickman's squad is the 5 guys you got to watch out for in the 12 team. Penn State Harrisburg, quick note, best coaching name in the business. Done Friday. Of course, if you play it on Friday. Also one of the best guys to sit down and talk to. They came out of a mega huge UEC that won 3 straight conference championships. They are a tough team. They turn heads every year. Guilford, by the way, this is one of those teams that they're outshined by a bunch of other good teams in the ODAC. The ODAC, one of the toughest teams in the nation this year. And sorry for Barry, that's going to be a very tough matchup for upset-minded Barry squad and Guilford's Fame Marine.
We're halfway through the bracket. Dave and I need a little breather with drink of water. 32 teams still to go. We continue with this D3 men's basketball selection show right after this.
You're not here for Panda 101. You're in the wrong guys. Here we learn the fundamentals of technology, the basics of bringing the noise, and the physics of bringing it out. We're proud to thank you. It's all part of the career. The NCAA championship. Attendance is determined. Passion is managed. Irish is today at NCAA.com.
The D3 men's basketball selection show rolls on. Dave and Q and I are halfway through the bracket right now. Some questions answered, so many more right on the tip of our minds right now. So let's get right back into the bracket. Right side now, as 32 teams are in, 32 bids to still hand out. We start with Case Western on this side of the bracket. A thrilling end to the regular season. Starting to hold off Carnegie Mellon by a single point to clinch a share of the UAA title and the automatic berth in the tournament. The only conference without a conference tournament to award the AQ, which is truly a season-long achievement to get back to the dance. And it sets up an opening showdown with Mary Baldwin. Fans of the Fighting Squirrels gathered together as we speak to celebrate the USA South Champions' first NCAA appearance. In fact, this is the first team appearance in any NCAA tournament in any sport in program school history. Congratulations to them. We're going to be a tournament without hope and perhaps worth the punt. There was always hope with this team in the championship. Overtime thrill that propelled the Flying Dutchman into the 30th NCAA tournament. It was their 3rd NIAA title in a row, even as the underdog. They make another champ with Anderson in the opening round. The Hartman champs survived the scare in the semifinals before a dominant win in the title game brought them back to the tournament for back-to-back years for the first time. Moving on to Loris, which took any sweat out of the show by winning the American Rivers, surviving an OT battle with Nebraska Wesleyan 85-76. And the Gustavus Adolphus joined them in the first round, fleecing the Mayak and Gustings returned to the tournament for the first time since 2012, surviving a one-point game to win the conference title for the first time in nearly 20 years. Wisconsin Platteville welcomes those NCAA host. No team in the country took better care of basketball this season than the champion averaging only 8.6 giveaways per game. The team turned over just 4 times in the conference championship game this past weekend. The most dominant program in the 1990s, perhaps the Billions were just 5th. The national title, and they will start with Bethany Lutheran in the opener. The top seed in the upper Midwest cruised to the title by 19 points in the final. Dave, back into the bracket and some really big championship caliber teams on the screen.
And Case Western Reserve being treated basically, I would argue, the number 2 team in this bracket, and they deserve it. The Spartans have been very good on the time of getting it. What's really impressive, they keep getting these transfers as impressed. Well, Anthony Fazio joined the team this year, is leading the team at nearly 20 points a game, bringing out something like 4.5 assists per game, finishing 46% from the floor. And by the way, he's got plenty of options to go on offense. That is a very tough team. We're impressing Las Vegas being broken this season. And thanks for winning our Carnegie Mellon. We got that on there thing in UAH I mentioned. I love to talk about Barry Baldwin just because of the fighting scores. Come on. Best mascot probably doing in this tournament. As you pointed out, first ever time Barry Baldwin as a team has made an NCAA tournament in the program. That's off to them. But then I get past Rogers County and trying to get here. I don't think a lot of people thought that we could do it. That's all I like Henderson. 2 back-to-back HCAC championships. They've got a lot of weapons. 4 guys in double digits at 12 points per game. They're going to be a tough matchup for both. Lawrence, listen, coming out of the AR City, she won one of the best races in the nation. They're going out getting past Nebraska Wesleyan. They've got a bunch of guys who can score at that hill. And then, listen, Gustavus Adolphus, this is a bit of a wild card. That was a wide open Mayak conference tournament. So Gustavus versus Lawrence is really unknown. Wisconsin Blackville Valley, congratulations, terrific season. Better, not so good like that. That's the kind of team that they upset in the first round. Everybody worthy of being here, so we're first round matchups. All right, to our next page, our next 8. Our next team to unveil. They returned to the tournament last year after a 40-plus year drought. Back again with no long wait this time. The Co-ops posted 3 wins versus ranked opponents this season. TJ Schnurr and Cale Schmidt each averaged over 17 per game for the Co-ops this season. And they will battle another champ, Wabash, in the first round. The Little Giants still celebrate their proud national title back in 1982, and they now celebrate another NCAA title. They beat Worcester 75-64 in that final. It was the 3rd straight conference championship for the program. Amani Jones scored 22 in the win. They have won 12 straight now entering this NCAA tournament. And they won't have to leave the state to play because they will travel to the host of this squad. That will be Trine. The Thunder making their path to the NCAA tournament a bit more nervous by falling in the MIA title game, but the body of work is too strong to provide the conference's top offensive spot. And a date with football, the Kings of St. Louis returning now in consecutive seasons. Let's make somebody else's day, shall we? We can say hello to Dubuque. A loss in the American River semifinals does not cost the Spartans a berth, navigating at large to return to the tournament they missed out on a year ago. And it's a return trip for Illinois College, which had 20 years between tournament trips last year. No wait at all for trip number 3 for the champs from the Midwest Conference. No surprise that Washington UNAM's network fit as well. The resume also worked in hosting duties. National champions in 2008-2009 make the trip for the 25th time in program history, taking on Wisconsin Lutheran, the NACC champs. Weren't truly tested and moved to the title of Engine Loft in that championship game a year ago, and returned to the game for the first time since 2006. A lot of history on that page right there.
They had like 8 losses.
All right, history. Remember, the ARC teams this well. Once again, this conference shows that there was a lot of good basketball being played in the middle part of the country. Oh, it's a great team. In and out of top 25. Wabash, remember, in the Final Four a couple of years ago, they're one of the more fun teams to watch simply out of the NCAA. Trine stumbled a little bit in the NIA championship, but they've been the best in that conference, best in that region for a while now. Falcon's the unknown, right? So Trine's going to have to kind of figure out what Falcon is and make sure they're not overlooking despite being at home, one of the better arenas in Division III. Duke again, another ARC team, but they've got a tough matchup at Illinois College, to be completely honest. I think that Illinois College team is undersung, underappreciated. They are a tough out. Washington is always a good team. That's one of the best places for Division III basketball in the nation, especially in the tournament. And here's another team, like Bethlehem Lutheran, Wisconsin Lutheran, also a team who's been known to have huge wins in the first round. WashU, you have been good.
All right, 16 bids still to unveil. As we transition now ahead to Randolph-Macon for our next home of 4 well-deserved at-large for Team Nova. Wants to see either way in this tournament. The 2022 national champions are back on the hunt for title number 2. They open with Baruch, 3rd straight Cognac championship, and 4th in 5 years, thanks to a roster of 8 final year players accounting for about 90% of this team's scoring. They certainly have the experience. St. Joseph of Connecticut will be in the building as well. The Blue Jays won the Battle of St. Joseph's to win the GNAC title, and in the NCAA tournament, the top 10 offense in both field goal percentage and scoring margin. Tyrone Mitchell leading that offense in scoring is one of several elite shooters from 3 for a team 12th in the country in 3-point percentage this season. It's top of the starting list for an exciting group in the opening round matchup from Geneva. First trip to the NCAA tournament after joining Division III in 2011 after winning the President's Athletic Conference Championship. They're led by the brothers, Mark and Ryan Rachel. His father, Joe, was a starter for Geneva back in the mid-90s. This is their last trip to the NAIA National Tournament. I feel that must be in the Rachel household to have that type of history. Calvin leads off our next quad of teams, or squad as well, looking to hang another banner next to championship teams in 1992 and 2000. This year's team features all everything. Jalen Overweight, the leader in points and rebounds this year. The Knights sophomore was their first team in all conference and the MVP of the conference this season. It's a tough task for Elmhurst to try and control him. Made a run at the national title game in their last appearance back in 2022 and returned looking for a repeat trip after capturing the CCIW championship. It was a battle, 68-64, they won it over Illinois Wesleyan. John Carroll is our host here, coming off maybe the game of the weekend where Luke Chappelle made 2 free throws at the end of regulation and forced overtime. John Carroll then hold on against Mount Union for back-to-back growth in the tournament. What an absolute thriller, and another one of those incredible conference championship games that we saw over the last 48 hours or so in not the reigning national runner-ups out of AQ consideration. SUNY New Paltz will try to score championship for that one. Congratulations on the endeavor today. The 2022 national championship matchup that could be the sectionals.
How about Blanco's layup?
Yeah, this is unbelievable, right? Randolph was trying to win one of the best teams in the second 2/3 of the season. Kind of a bumpy start, but they have found themselves. Again, you don't want to play minutes from there. I feel for Baruch. Team actually was the first to post their tickets to the NCAA tournament this year, playing on Friday night with the win over Lehman. John Lacey's squad has never gotten past the first round in 7 previous trips to the NCAA. They've got a tough matchup there in the Yellow Jackets. St. Joseph, this is a very good team, well coached under Glenn Miller. This is another team also like Randolph-Macon who really came to home in the second 2/3. So think about a great deal of mascot story too. I don't know why in the world they're doing those videos. There's a great reason for it, but they're a tough team. I think that isn't appreciated. They really emerged from their conference after everyone in Washington mentioned most of the year. Calvin, listen, this is an MIAA day. Calvin trying it. They really are the top trio, and Calvin's one of the top teams in the nation. One of the best players in the nation in overweight. This is a team that can make a run, but Elmhurst, who comes straight to the winner of the game on Wesley, that is a difficult first-round matchup. To beat all first-round matchups, and it's taking place at John Carroll, another great place to see a game. And to your point, sir, SUNY New Paltz absolutely burst the bubble by beating Oswego State.
These bubbles did they burst? If you only have 8 teams to go, and there are several watching right now wondering if this going to be the page that our season continues. Championship pedigree to lead it off. Virginia Wesleyan nabs the precious at-large berth. An upset win over Guilford in the ODAC quarterfinals may have been the final bullet point in a tournament resume that gives the 2006 national champions their first berth since all the way back in 2015. So there's a celebration that's taking place. It'll be short-lived because they got to get right to work. They open with Swarthmore coming up this weekend. The 2019 national runner-ups were a win away from the title game last year as well. They return after winning the Centennial Conference, stunning a few power teams as the 4th seed in that conference tournament. So how about the emotions for both of these teams just in the first matchup on this page? And it gets better because they travel to Trinity of Connecticut, the best team in the NESCAC, the champs this year. It always carries a lot of weight to win that title. And this team brings a near perfect resume in the field, making the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2016. They feature the best record in the tournament. It comes with a plus 22 scoring margin, also better than any team in the nation. Utica looks to turn the bracket upside down in the opening round, back-to-back tournament trips for the first time in program history after winning the Empire 8 with an offensive shot 49.9% from the field this season. That was second best in the nation. It doesn't get any easier. Tufts adds weight to this section of the bracket. Trips for the Jumbos, twice to Trinity in the last week or so of the season, including the NESCAC semifinals. This team knows what it will take to get over the hump and win level, and they have a chance to settle the score if they can advance into the sectionals. But they have to survive another team that will be screaming, and we keep their season alive. Hello, Stockton. That run to the NJAC title didn't end with the title, but did just enough for the 2009 national runner-ups to advance again. In fact, in the game recap from that NJAC loss this past week for the Ospreys, it mentioned the team finished the season with 17 wins. Guys, get back to work, because you got to crack at number 18. You wear 18 and give a new life fresh off of the bubble. You know what? While we're in the giving mood, how about another at-large? While we wait to the last minute, NYU is in. This one perhaps a bit more obvious, no host, but back-to-back berths for the first time since 1997 to 1998. They host these final 4 teams as Husson rounds out the field. 9th appearance for the NAC champs, still seeing the program. NCAA win. Dave, we saved the best for last. That was a wild run of 8 teams right there.
Yeah, well, I don't have enough time to go through all of this. This is insane, and it's insane in a good way. Virginia Wesleyan, pedigree, on the ODAC, 4 teams from that conference. It was a typical conference this year. We've said it from the get-go. And Virginia Wesleyan has key wins over a lot of really good teams this year. Swarthmore, who had a bumpy middle of the season, we all thought this was over, that things had come off the rails. They came storming back on another conference title, and probably one of the best coaches I've ever seen Lander called Austin Jew. I mean, he's got a couple of tremendous years. Trinity, Connecticut, this is a buzzer beater away from a perfect season for a regular season. Hosting here in Utica is a tough team. You cannot overlook the Pioneers with a mascot as a Moose, by the way. That's a bunkers foursome up there. Then you've got Tufts and Stockton. Hello, surprise, surprise. Stockton into the tournament. I don't think anyone had a chance there. They were certainly in the conversation late, but no one thought the resume stood up. Jermaine felt otherwise, and here they are. Hats off to them. They deserve to get to the conference tournament against Tufts and Stockton. That's just a wild matchup. NYU hosting this, that's big. That's a brand new arena. They're into it for the first year. Feel bad for Tufts. Roy Caruso squad, how bad they were winning. It's a team I don't think anybody wants to look or see his first term, but that is tough. First round matchup with NYU. That's not what anyone really wants to host.
I don't know what I'm more excited for. So watch these games on Friday, or watch some of the reactions to this show coming up this season. There's going to be some absolutely nuts recap videos and just reactions videos of all of it. It's hard to sort of ask in one final question what your overall takes of seeing this. I know you got plenty of time over there to debrief to break it all down, but just first blush thought when you see the 16-14.
This is one out there. We've got good teams spread out. I love what the community kind of did with this one. Just spread out the bracket. I haven't had enough time to dive into all the possibilities for weekend number 2, for example. I'm traveling a lot. But I started a lot of good teams in different quadrants and different sections. But it's hard to keep everyone away from everybody. We've got some tough matchups early on because the parity Division III is so deep now that you usually can have teams outside the top 25 being in the Final Four as we saw last year. So it's tough to keep everyone away from each other. That said, we're going to see upsets in the opening weekend. We're going to see oddball teams that maybe for some in the second weekend. This thing's wide open. I cannot wait Truly, the best team at this time of the year is gonna end up winning this, because you're gonna have to survive no matter which round you take. Dave, the content machine is gonna be full, at the end of the day.
1 in 27. That win in Austin,
We got another 60-14 block we got on the bail as well. After that, everybody's expecting another action-packed tournament. And remember, after local sites and sectional, the final 14, as we're playing in Indiana for the national semifinal and NCAA tournament, on 60. They were street results right where
When I first got here, my first year, they made the Sweet 16 the year.
Thanks again for joining us this afternoon.
All right, guys. See ya. Great job, guys. Proud of you. Wendy, thank you very much. Thank you very much.